What's happening, everybody? Boy Big Brando, and welcome to the Back to Basics series. Today we're talking about planning and structure, meaning planning out your business and structuring your business. Now, if you're watching these videos, chances are you might be on the fence of jumping into this t-shirt business or creating a business around your heat press and your vinyl cutter. Or maybe you just want to use a heat press and do some heat transfers, or maybe you're trying to do some sublimation. These are things that we're going to talk about in this video. First things first, people get very overwhelmed fast when it comes to this business because there's so many options, so many possibilities, and people's brains start going like, I could be making money on all of this stuff, which is true. But in my experience, I found that if you focus on one thing first and lock something down first, it helps with the rest of the business. So let's say you wanted to get started and just do t-shirts first. Doing t-shirts is fine. But then you got to think about, am I doing t-shirts for my own brand? Am I doing t-shirts for a custom business like one-off t-shirts? Or am I printing for other people? So let's write those options down. So we'll call this one brand. We'll call this one custom. And then we'll call this one print shop, because you're going to be operating like a print shop. So let's say that you got your heat press and your vinyl cutter. And you're like, I want to make t-shirts. Making t-shirts is cool. Easy way to make money. One of the easiest things to do from home. And there's endless possibilities because you got to remember, everybody in the world owns t-shirts. I say this in a lot of my videos, and I don't care if you wear a suit every single day for work. You have t-shirts in your closet. You have t-shirts in your drawer. Everybody, men, women, kids, everybody owns t-shirts. So if you think about that, there's a lot of customers in the world, right? Knowing that alone should get you pretty excited to make some money slanging t-shirts. But trying to figure out what you want to do with your heat press and your vinyl cutter is the hard part. Because right now you got a bunch of ideas going through your head. Like, oh man, I'm going to be printing for this person. Oh, I can make these custom shirts. Oh, I need a clothing brand. Oh, my business has to be built around my brand. Oh, my business needs to be built around custom stuff. But I need to offer all the same things that all these other custom shops offer. Do not compare yourself to anybody else. Do not try to keep up with anybody else. Just do you. Do whatever fits within your budget. Do whatever makes sense to you. Do not worry about what the next person's doing. Don't worry about looking on Etsy and see somebody offer all these different things and feel like you need to do that too. That's not the case. So first things first is figuring out what exactly you want to do with your heat press and your vinyl cutter. Now, just because you focus on one of these options on this board right now does not mean you have to stick to that for the rest of your life. Because what I'm going to talk about is actually showing you guys how to plan out your business. So let's say if you wanted to start a brand, but you're like, oh, you know what? Nobody's gonna buy my brand right away. I need to start making money now. So you can make money doing custom shirts first and use the money from the custom shirts to fund the brand. See what I'm saying? Or when your friends and family find out that you can make t-shirts from home, maybe somebody has a detail business, maybe somebody has a plumber business in your family. They're like, hey, can you make me some work shirts and this and that? Now you're gonna be operating as a print shop, printing for those different businesses. Use that money to fund the brand. So when I talk about a brand, I'm talking about like a clothing brand, streetwear brand, activewear brand, a fitness brand, whatever it is. I'm talking about something with your branded logo on it, something that is cohesive around your business and brand. Now, when I'm talking about custom work, I'm talking about one-off t-shirts. I'm talking about like happy birthday t-shirts. Maybe it would help if I wrote all this shit down. So the branded stuff, we're gonna be talking about your own personal stuff. So that's logos, clothing line, seasonal releases, like streetwear, activewear, fitness, etc. Alright? Hopefully this helps you guys out and kind of paints a little better picture for you. Now, when we're talking about custom, we're talking about one-offs. A lot of people are going to ask, what the hell's a one-off? One-off is just making one t-shirt. One-off is just one custom shirt. So there's big business around one-off because you could do birthday shirts. You could do in love and memory, funeral, RIP shirts. So we'll just write RIP. Bachelor parties. Bachelorette parties. And then on top of all of those like theme type shirts, you could be creating small niche type things like shirts with funny sayings, funny quotes, based around food, based around nostalgia, based around a lot of different things. These are considered custom shirts, one-off shirts. When somebody comes to you and says, hey, can you make me a shirt that says my dad makes the best tacos or something like that? Those are all custom shirts. It's not going to be mass produced. It's only going to be made specifically for that customer. So doing stuff like this is an easy way to make money, because a lot of times people want custom things, right? Can you make me a shirt with my son's name on it? My son plays soccer, he's number 10. Can you put number 10, go Brian on there, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? All of these things will start coming up. All of these things can be done with your heat press and your vinyl cutter. It's an easy call to make decent amount of money that can fund your brand, if that's the plan, if that's what you wanted to do. But these are the different ways that you can use your heat press and your vinyl cutter. Next thing is going to be the print shop. What do you mean by print shop? I'm talking about contract printing. I'm talking about printing for others. And you're probably thinking like, well, isn't custom shirts printing for others? It is, but this is going to be like mass produced type stuff. This is like somebody that needs like a dozen shirts. This is going to be somebody that's doing printing stuff for like a restaurant or something like that. So this is printing for others. So when you say print for others, it's like other businesses. Because there's big business in printing for other businesses, especially local. So let's say, just to give you guys a few ideas, you could walk into your local barbershop and be like, hey, check it out. You guys got all these capes. You know, the thing that goes around the people that are getting their haircut, and be like, man, I could put your logo on that cape. I could make some t-shirts for you to give to your customers, like, man, I'm loyal to my barber, and your barber's name on it, or whatever it is. Or shop shirts. This works for mechanic shops. This works for barbershops. Local restaurants is a huge one. This is something that I've been doing and I kind of do now, especially with the whole mask thing going on. It was easy to sell masks with the business's name on it. It was easy to sell t-shirts that are just for employees, and then t-shirts for customers. And all this takes is walking into your local restaurants and your local barbershops and your local businesses and be like, hey, check it out. This is what I do. I would love to put your logo on this t-shirt for you. These are my prices. This is what I could do it for. This is how it can help your business. Selling your service is all part of this game. If you just want to operate strictly online, you can do that. But there's a lot of money to be made in your local community. A lot of people look past that because they're just thinking online, I need an online store, blah, blah, blah. But do not look past all of the money in your local community. I do this all the time, and all it takes is you walking into a certain business and just pitching your services. The worst that could happen is they say no. I already got somebody print for me. I already have t-shirts. So be it. Walk into the next business and to the next business. That's all it is. If you let one person's no knock you down and discourage you from this business, maybe you ain't cut out for this business. Get used to hearing no. There's nothing wrong with it, but you need to actually sell your service to hear the no. You know what I mean? Change up your sales pitch. Get over the fear of talking to people in public. Get over the fear of actually telling people you own a business and you're looking for their business. You see what I'm saying? This is something that's huge that a lot of people run into, and those same people that run into this are the same people that have all this equipment collecting dust in their living room or their bedroom or their garage because they let one no fuck them up. So don't be that person. You know what I mean? Now I get it. Not everybody's a salesman. Not everybody likes bragging about themselves. But to be fairly honest, you got to be just a little bit conceited to sell your services, because you need to be confident in what you're selling. If you walk into a business, you're like, well, you know, I make these t-shirts, you're looking down, there's no eye contact, there's none of that shit, they're gonna be like, man, I can't trust this motherfucker. And that's the reality of things, you know what I mean? So if you go into these businesses confident in yourself and in your abilities of what you can provide to them, you can sell the shit out of everything, you know what I mean? And then it turns into you walking into a pizza shop and like, man, look at these old ass t-shirts, they look all fucked up, let me hook your logo up, let me give you some new t-shirts for your business. Let me put your logo on those aprons. Why are those cooks back there wearing blank aprons? They should have your company logo on it. Now you're selling. You see what I'm saying? Filling that void of any business. Going into like a mechanic shop and be like, oh man, you guys do good work here, but you could have all your customers that come here for oil change or their brakes or whatever it is, leaving with your company logo on the back with your phone number and address, and now you have walking billboards. When you're selling your service like that, you have to be able to sell that business on the value that you're going to provide to them. You see what I'm saying? This is all part of the game. If you just wanted to operate online, fine by me. Nothing wrong with that. But do not ignore the money that can be made in your local community. So we talked about a lot of different things, right? Running your own clothing brand. We talked about running a custom business, and we talked about operating like a print shop. Where do you fall in all of these? Based off the videos you watch, the TikToks you watch, the person on Instagram telling you how to do things, where do you fall into this, and where do you see yourself making the most money, and where do you want to put the most of your energy into? Because you got to remember, if you wanted to set out to start your brand, you have the equipment and the ability to operate as all three. But when you're planning out what you want to do, understand where the money's coming and where the money's going to go. So if you're coming into this and like, hey, I can make a bunch of money because I got all these ideas for custom shirts and little baby onesies and t-shirts for moms to be and all that stuff, because there's a lot of money to be made in these spaces. You could be making a ton of money as a custom business, but that doesn't mean that your whole business has to be structured around custom stuff. You could start off doing custom stuff, but like I said, use the money from the custom shirts you're making to fund the brand. And in the background, you could still be designing for your brand. You could still be testing out designs for the brand, but now you have actual income funding that brand. See what I'm saying? Same exact thing goes for operating as a print shop. When you're doing these one-off shirts and when you're making shirts for friends and family, use that time to practice your workflow. Figure out what works out best, because you're gonna have to test out everything anyways, right? You're gonna have to test out your vinyl, your transfers, your heat press, figure out the best settings for everything that you're using. Use that time when you're doing custom shirts, when you're doing shirts for your friends and family. Use that time to figure out your workflow. All right, things make more sense when I cut vinyl like this. I weed everything out at once and then go back and then just start pressing. Set the press up for whatever heat transfer vinyl I'm using, and then boom, I could get into production and start knocking it out. Because trust me, when you first start doing this, you're gonna be all over the place. You're gonna be like, oh, I bought these cool little things to hold vinyl on my wall. And then you're gonna figure out, I use white and black all the time and I never put white and black into the little vinyl things, and it just ends up on the table. So something that sounds like it's a good idea, sometimes production wise, it doesn't work into your workflow. And you'll figure all that out as time goes on. As you keep pressing, as you keep cutting, you're gonna start to understand what makes sense. For myself in my shop, when I'm not using it, the trash can is against the wall. But then when we're actually in production, like really pressing stuff up and doing orders, that trash can is in the middle of the room. It doesn't make sense to anybody walking in and seeing the trash can in the middle of the room. But for us, if we're pressing back to back, we could press, peel the transfer off, throw it in the trash. Boom. Peel the transfer off, throw it in the trash. It just makes more sense workflow wise for us. See what I'm saying? So these are things that you're gonna start figuring out on your own as time goes on. Nobody comes out the gate and is just a professional at everything. It takes practice, it takes a little bit of patience, and it takes a lot of hard work. So as long as you got all that shit, man, you are golden. So to wrap this video up, all you have to do is figure out exactly what you want to do. There's a lot of people that watch my channel that want to start a clothing brand, and then they find out it's kind of a little bit harder than they thought, and they don't have no money coming in for the clothing brand. There's nothing wrong with jumping into the custom t-shirts and start doing stuff so you can use that money to fund the brand just to get some income coming in. Do custom shirts or selling your services as a print shop and do contract printing and stuff like that. Family reunion shirts, local businesses, anything that's like over a dozen, whatever it is, whatever you set your minimum at, that's all it is. Another big one is selling stuff to like people that are going to Disneyland for the first time, or maybe this is like their third family trip. They want matching shirts that say, this is our third time going to Disneyland. Like, there's money to be made everywhere, man. If you ever just looked up the hashtag on Instagram of like expecting mom, first time mommy, mom to be, hey, now you have somebody that's posting about their pregnancy that you could be making pregnancy t-shirts for, and then when the baby comes out, you could start selling them on onesies, because you've seen it before where the kid's wearing a onesie and it says like 1 month, 2 months. Those are 12 months of onesies you could be making for this one person. See what I'm saying? So there's money to be made everywhere, and this is just barely scratching the surface of the custom t-shirt world. Now, I'm not here to sell you on, oh man, this is the easiest shit ever, but it can be easy as long as you put in the work. So before you buy any equipment, or if you already bought the equipment and you're struggling on what to do, think about these things right here. And these are not the only 3 options, but these are the 3 options that I personally use and I find to be the most popular, is operating like this. Running your own clothing brand, something I do. Doing custom shirts, something I do. And operating as a print shop, another thing that I do. So what you're gonna find in all of these videos in this series is I'm talking about mainly things that I do and the ways that I found to get business and make money in. So that's the information I want to share with you guys. So remember, ask yourself what you want to do first, where you want to put most of your energy. Running a clothing brand, doing custom work, operating as a print shop. The reason this helps out is because in the next video when we talk about heat presses, this will help you make a better educated purchase. So if this video helped you guys out, please let me know in the comments. If you're excited about this series, let me know in the comments. Follow me on Instagram, BigBrando TV. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.